Yo, welcome back to TTD Customs. In today's video, we're doing a Dragon Ball theme, and the chosen canvas is Air Jordan 1s. First up, we gotta prep, so let's get into it. Yeah, that should just about do it, so now let's get to mixing our paints. Like usual, we're going to mix the paint with too thin in order to make it airbrush ready, and then we're going to strain the mixture in order to make sure nothing clogs the airbrush. As always, we're applying light coats and building up the vibrancy of the color. Since I'm doing a space theme background, it's a bit hard to touch up the edges post-custom. That's why I'm doing it early on and then instead covering up with the next couple coats of paint. In order to get some depth into the custom, I started by using different shades of the base color and a textured cutout of paper. In order to get the space background more vibrant, I added in a bit of white and then a contrast or complementary color. I also added in some straight black in order to try and capture the void and darkness of space. So the base for the background is pretty much done. Now it's time for the stars, and for that I'm going to use a toothbrush to make the smaller ones and these circles. Now the toothbrush method worked out perfectly, adding a bunch of small stars everywhere. However, with the circle method, I would maybe try to vary the sizes in the future in order to make it more realistic. Now that the background is finished, we're going to start with our character work, and in order to get all the proportions right, we're going to use stencils. After placing, heat pressing, and masking off the stencil, I'm going to use some neutral paint in order to seal off the edges to prevent leaking. Now I'm just adding a couple coats of mist gray before going straight into the coloring. Since we're going for gold Frieza, I'm thinking this is the perfect opportunity to test out Angelus pearlescent paint. Because why not? Now, as you can see, the line work stencil makes it possible to just color in the sections, making this process much smoother. Now I'm just covering up the characters in order to make a light glow around them, and you can see you can use either stencil or tape to mask them off. Next up, we're filling in the void left from the line work stencil. Both the characters' base colors are put down and we're ready to move on to the next step, which is shading. So let's get into it. As you can see, we're doing the shading, and this task alone took maybe 24 to 28 hours. Now, before I go on to filling in the mouth and the eyes, I'm going to fill in the swoosh on the inside because this right here looks way too bare. So let's go. Now, since we're doing a Dragon Ball custom, we need at least a couple Dragon Balls. We're closing in on the finish line, so now we're adding the final details before going on to the line work. Now we're just removing the tape from the midsoles, touching up some edges, and adding a new top coat. And we've pretty much crossed the finish line. So we are finally done, and this is the finished product. I went with a more wild outside and a more simplistic inside on these customs, and this took about 125 to 130 hours in total because of all the characters details and the line work. So if you would like to see any other Dragon Ball characters in the future, please drop a comment in the comment section, or if there are any other anime characters, just drop that down there. Like, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace.